Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine in the quarantine and your preparation is also going well for the SEBI graded 2020 examination. So I, CA Rajat, welcome you all to EduTap. In this particular video, we shall be discussing about company law important MCQs of chapter number 10, that is audit and auditors. Since all of you know that this particular chapter is a very important chapter for your examination and it is also a very vast chapter from which many MCQs can be asked. So we are dividing this particular chapter into more than one part. So this is first part of the chapter number 10 of Companies Act. So let us now start with the video. An important information for you all that due to the coronavirus outbreak, so we all faculty are working from home. So since we are working from home, so you might find some quality issues regarding audio quality. So please bear it with us. We are all trying to provide you with the best quality content. But if there is any technical issue, so please don't mind. Please bear it with us. So you also stay home, stay safe and stay online. So these are some of the past results that EduTap has delivered in the BARD graded 2019 examinations. Out of 41 seats, 25 selections were from EduTap. In the BARD grade B examination, out of 8 seats, 4 selections were from EduTap. In RBI grade B 2019 examinations, more than 215 calls were there from EduTap. And in 2018 also we have delivered excellent results. So in the BARD graded 2018 examinations, 26 selections were there out of 46 seats. SEBI graded 2018 examination, 41 selections out of 84 seats were there from EduTap. That is approximately 50% students were selected from EduTap. And in RBI grade B 2018 examination, out of 127 seats, 72 selections were from EduTap. Question number 1 for you guys. In case of a non-government company, the auditor, if individual, can be appointed for a maximum period of dash years. Option A, 3, 5, 8 or 10. So please note here we are talking about non-government company and the auditor is individual. So you all know that there are separate rules for auditor as an individual or a CA firm. Okay, so here we are talking about auditor as an individual. So he can be appointed for a maximum period of dash years. Very easy question for you. Anybody who has gone through the lectures or anybody who has revised the chapter must be knowing the answer. So let us now first understand the. So as you all know, auditor shall be a chartered accountant. So no person other than a chartered accountant can conduct the statutory audit of a company. Now, chartered accountants can practice in two ways. Either they can practice in their own name, or they can be practicing individually, or they can be a partner in a CA firm. So if he is practicing alone, that is if he is an individual CA, then he can be appointed for maximum 5 consecutive years at a time. He cannot be appointed for more than 5 years at a time. But if we are talking about a firm of auditors, that particular firm of auditors can be appointed for 2 terms of 5 consecutive years at a time. So for first 5 years they can be appointed. After the end of the 5th year, they can be reappointed for another term of 5 years. So that is 5 plus 5 in a consistent go, they can be appointed for 10 years. So when we are talking about individual CA, we shall be noting the time as 1 term of 5 consecutive years. But when we are talking about a firm of auditors, we shall be taking it as 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. And you also know that once their term expires, in both the cases, in the first case when the 5-year period expires, and in the second case when the 10-year period expires. So after the expiry of their term, they cannot be reappointed in the same company for the next 5 years. So this 5-year period for which they cannot be reappointed is known as cooling off period. So we shall be saying that the cooling off period they have to serve is for 5 years. So the answer, you all know the answer now. We were talking about a non-government company and the auditor is an individual CA. So he can be appointed for a maximum period of 5 years. So the answer here is B. So let us now move to question number 2. Question number 2. A firm of auditors can be appointed as auditor of a listed company for not more than dash terms of consecutive dash years. So here we are talking about firm of auditors and not individual auditor. So they can be appointed as auditor for not more than how many terms, and each term shall comprise of how many years. So is it 2,5, 3,5, 1,5 or 2,10? Very easy question. I know you know the answer for this particular question. Let us get back to the question using the concept. So when we are talking about individual CA, that can be appointed for maximum 5 years at a time. But when we are talking about firm of CAs or a firm of auditors, they can be appointed for 2 terms of 5 consecutive years at a time. So here the answer shall be 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. So the answer here is A. Question number 3. So once the term of auditors is completed, that is their term is now completed, they have served their 5-year or 2 terms of 5-year period. Then they have to serve a cooling off period. And that cooling off period is of how many years? That is the question. So in that cooling off period, the auditors cannot be appointed as the auditor of the same company or the auditor of the subsidiaries of the company. So is the cooling off period for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years or 5 years? So for how many years the auditor cannot be reappointed after his expiry of term? So we know that the term shall be for 5 years. So after the expiry of that term, they cannot be reappointed for the next 5 years. So this 5-year period is also known as cooling off period. The answer for this question, that the auditors have to serve a cooling off period for 5 years after the expiry of their term. Moving on. For the first auditor of a non-government company. Here we are talking about a non-government company and first auditors. So there are separate provisions for first auditors and subsequent auditors, and separate provisions for government company and non-government company. Do keep it in mind that here we are studying about first auditors of non-government company. So they shall be appointed by the board of directors within 30 days from the dash. So what we do when we study, we see the time period, that we remember 30 days is to be counted. But 30 days is to be counted from which event? So we have to remember the event also from which this 30 days will be counted. So board of directors shall appoint the auditors within 30 days of dash, and in case of failure of board of directors, the member shall appoint the person as an auditor within 90 days at an extraordinary general meeting. So this 30-day period is to be counted from date of registration of the company, date of commencement of commercial production, date of start of operation of the company, or date of commencement of business. So from which event we shall be counting the 30-day period on which the board of directors shall be appointing any person as the auditor of the company in case of non-government companies. Now again we bring to your timeline. So within 30 days of registration, that is if the company has got itself registered, within 30 days an auditor shall be appointed by the board of directors. Please note, here we are talking about the first auditors only, and in the case of non-government company. There are different rules for subsequent auditors. Subsequent auditors are auditors appointed after the first auditors. So this rule is only for the first auditor and only for non-government company. For government company we have separate rules, and we shall be discussing in the further slides. So when we are talking about first auditor in non-government company, they shall be appointed within 30 days of registration by the board of directors. Now, if the board of directors fails to appoint the auditor, then within the next 90 days, that is after the expiry of the 30th day, within the next 90 days, appointment is to be done by the members of the company in an extraordinary general meeting. So initially, who is responsible? Board of directors. Within 30 days of registration, they have to appoint an auditor. But for any reason, if they are unable to appoint the auditor, then within the next 90 days, the appointment shall be done by the members of the company in an extraordinary general meeting. And the auditor so appointed shall hold office till conclusion of first AGM. So the first auditor appointed shall hold office till the conclusion of first annual general meeting. The event that will be seen for counting the 30 days shall be date of registration of company. So here the answer is A. So let us now move forward. In case of a government company, the first auditor shall be appointed by the dash within 60 days from the date of registration of the company. So who is liable to appoint the first auditor of the company in case of government companies? Is it the central government, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, that is CAG, Board of Directors, or members of the company? So when we are discussing some questions with you, so apart from seeing the answer, please read the language of questions also, because here it is clearly mentioned that the appointment is to be done within 60 days from date of registration of the company. So here you have to also see the time period which we have mentioned in the question. So you have to revise this time period. The fill in the blanks can be formed from this time period also. So please note this time period also in your mind. So here the question has asked us about the first auditor in case of government company. It is different from the non-government company. I again bring to you a different timeline. So in case of government company, the first auditor shall be appointed within 60 days by the Comptroller and Auditor General. Okay. Now, if he is unable to appoint, then within the next 30 days, that is after the expiry of the 60th day, within next 30 days, appointment is to be done by the board of directors of the company. But if the board of directors are also not able to appoint the auditor within the aforesaid period, that is this 30-day period, then they shall be informing the members who shall within the next 60 days appoint the auditor in an extraordinary general meeting. So here the total time that is allowed is 150 days. In the case of non-government company, the total time that was allowed was for 120 days. That was 30 plus 90-day period. 30-day period for board of directors and 90-day period for members of the company. But here initially 60 days is allowed to CAG, then next 30 days is allowed to board of directors, and then 60 days is allowed to members of the company to appoint the auditor in an extraordinary general meeting. So keep it in mind when we are talking about government company, the first right is of Comptroller and Auditor General of India, who shall be appointing the auditor within 60 days. Moving back to the question. So here the answer shall be the first auditor in case of government company shall be appointed by Comptroller and Auditor General of India within the next 60 days, within the 60 days from date of registration of the company. Now moving to question number 6. This is a heavy question, but you know the answer because we have just now discussed it. In case of government companies, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India does not appoint such auditor within the set period. Set period you know? Yes, you know. The set period is 60 days. Then the board of directors of the company shall appoint such auditor within the next dash days. And in the case of failure of the board to appoint such auditor within that period also, it shall inform the members of the company who shall appoint such auditor within the dash day at an EGM. Now entirely about the government companies, here we are talking about the first auditors, and firstly CAG shall appoint them within 60 days, but if CAG fails then the board of directors shall appoint them within dash days. You know the answer? Yes, you know the answer. We have just now studied it. And in the case of failure of the board to appoint such auditor within that period, then the member shall appoint it within the next dash days at an extraordinary general meeting. You know this answer also. So I want this answer without, please type the answer in the comment box. We are waiting for 5 seconds, then we will move forward. And I read every comment, so I should know how much is your preparation going well. So now, within the first 60 days appointment by CAG, if CAG fails within next 30 days by board of directors, if board of directors fail within next 60 days by members in an extraordinary general meeting. So the answer is A, 30 and 60. Moving on, 7. Every company shall file a notice to registrar stating the details about appointment of auditor within 15 days of the meeting in which the auditor is appointed. The notice shall be in the form dash. Now you know that the notice to registrar about the appointment of auditor shall be made within 15 days of the meeting in which the auditor is appointed. Whether the board of directors have appointed them, then it will be board meeting. If the members have appointed them, then we shall be counting 15 days from the extraordinary general meeting. But we have to note down the period here. So do remember that the notice has to be sent within 15 days of the date of meeting, whether it is board meeting or extraordinary general meeting. But here the question is asking about the form number of the notice. So is it ADT 1, ADT 2, ADT 3, ADT 4? Please type your answer in the comment box. I am waiting. Okay. Now I shall explain you all the forms. After this particular slide, all the forms of this particular chapter will be at your tips. So what happens in the company? Firstly, when we are talking about the chapter audit and auditors, firstly the auditor will be appointed. So ADT 1 shall be the form for notice of appointment of auditors by company to ROC. So when the company is informing the ROC about the appointment of auditor, that we are appointing this person as the auditor of the company for this many years, so that information shall be given in the form number ADT 1. Then if the company wants to remove that particular person before the expiry of his term, then they have to file the form number ADT 2. So this is before the expiry of his term. But if the auditor wants to resign from his post of auditor, if the auditor wants to resign from his post of auditor of the particular company, then he must file a form in ADT 3. Then for resignation of auditor, the form shall be ADT 3. And we have also read in certain sections that if the auditor is suspected that the company or the directors are involved in any offense or any fraud, then they shall inform the central government about it. So that information or that report is to be given to the central government in form number ADT 4. So ADT 1 is for notice of appointment of auditor, ADT 2 is removal of auditor before expiry of his term, ADT 3 is resignation of auditor, and ADT 4 is report to the central government suspecting offense involving fraud. So these are very easy. Only these forms are there in chapter number 10. So I hope these forms are now at your fingertips. Now you know the answer. The question asks us about the notice to registrar about appointment of auditor within 15 days of meeting. The answer is A, ADT 1. Now moving on to the last question. Number 8. In case of government companies, auditor other than first auditor, that is a subsequent auditor. Do remember, auditor other than first auditor are also known as subsequent auditors. So they shall be appointed when? So at the annual general meeting, within 180 days from the closure of financial year, within 90 days from the closure of financial year, or any time before the AGM. I'm waiting for your answer in the comment box. Please do type the answer for this particular question with the question number. So we shall be waiting for 5 seconds and then we shall be discussing the answer. So now moving on to, so as you all know that when we are talking about the appointment of subsequent auditor, that is other than first auditor, so there are two scenarios. First is other than government company, that is normal companies, or then we will talk about government companies. So firstly we are talking about other than government companies. So their appointment is to be done by the members in an annual general meeting, and that person who is appointed, he shall hold the office from the first AGM to the 6th AGM. Okay, we know he is appointed for the 5 years, so he shall hold office from the first AGM to the 6th AGM. But when we are talking about the government companies, in case of government companies, CAG, that is the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So CAG is a separate post. He is an authority who is liable to conduct who is also liable or responsible to conduct the audit of public sector companies or government companies. So CAG shall be liable to or responsible to appoint the auditor within 180 days from the closure of financial year. So normally the financial year closes on 31st March every year. So within 180 days from the closure of financial year, CAG shall appoint the auditor of the company. Now that person appointed shall hold office till the conclusion of the coming AGM. So that person is not appointed for the next 5 years. He is only appointed till the conclusion of the coming annual general meeting. Yes, in case of government company, auditor other than first auditor shall be appointed at within 180 days from the closure of financial year. Here we have asked about government companies. But if we ask about the non-government companies, the answer shall be at the annual general meeting of the company. So now you know the answers. Now do comment in the comment box how many questions were you able to solve with your own knowledge without understanding the concept that I have taught you. Okay, so I want to know how much is your preparation going well. Please do type, and please do type about your marks, and please let me know any topic which you find difficult in the entire company law, that we can make a separate video for you so that you can that topic is more clear to you. Apart from these MCQs, we shall also be bringing some important topics, the clippings of the topics, so that it is very easy for you to grasp. So please let us know any topic which you find very difficult, and we shall try and make a video on that. So I wish you all the best for examinations, and I request you please go through the PDFs. Again, we are posting the PDFs in our Telegram channel. So please share this video with your friends, like this video, and do revise the PDFs again and again, because I can assure you that many of the questions will be asked from these question series only. The language can be molded, but the question will be similar. So I wish you all the best for examination. Prepare well, and thank you very much.